thank you so much for coming out tonight on a Tuesday night. And I know we've not given you a lot of notice on this because we just posted the meeting about a month ago, and I said something about it yesterday. So thank you so much for being here tonight. I'm going to talk to you about a lot of things. I'm not going to talk. I know it's hard for you to believe, many of you that know me, to think I'm not going to talk that long. And I'm not going to talk that long. But I don't even, well, I know it's hard. Well, I may talk long. I don't know. But I'm going to try not to. And let me tell you, I'm so thankful you're here. My wife said coming in, I really hope somebody comes. I said, I do too. Because she said it makes me think of when I used to be a head baseball coach way back a long time ago at a school that's across town. Before the school existed, don't get mad at me. I think in 1993, I did the very first camp in the city of Madison. And man, I thought it was going to be through the roof. And 9 kids showed up. And my wife said, I just felt sorry for you. But I coached them hard. And so she just said, I hope it's not like your baseball camp. I hope somebody comes. So I'm glad you're here. I'm going to talk to you tonight about a couple of things. I'm going to talk to you about the boards and my vision. And before I go any further, I want to thank our Board of Education for being here. Our Board of Education works tirelessly. I don't know if y'all know this or not, and some people say I'm folksy because I just say it. I mean, I say things and I don't read off a script, but I'm going to say this. Our board don't get paid a penny, and they work, I can tell you, they work a lot because they're on me all the time. They work a lot, and they do it for nothing, and they do it because they love this town and they love your children, and our school system is great, not because of Robby Parker. I've been superintendent, I'll be, in a week it'll be a year. But not because of me, but because of this Board of Education, because of superintendents before me, and because of boards before this one. And obviously, we've got the best kids in America. That's got something to do with it. And we've got the best parents in America. We've got the best teachers in America. And our principals aren't chopped liver either. Our principals are best principals in America. So we've got great, and I'm biased and I admit that, but we've got great people. And I'm thankful for our board. Mayor, thank you for being here. Mr. Overcash, thank you for being here. And I know I'm missing out on people. So Dr. Fowler taught me to honor some is to dishonor many. And so he always said, be careful who you welcome. So I know I'm missing some people. But with that said, I'm so thankful that you're all here. So I'm going to get started right with it. I promised you I wasn't going to waste your time, and I'm not going to stand up here and carry on a lot of fluff. We're going to get right to it. And I'm going to start with this, and I'm going to make sure I can run this thing. I think I can. But I want to start with this little video of our kids because this is all about our kids. And everything I tell you tonight, this vision is not about adults. It's not about me. It's not about you. It's our time, guys. It's our time to be the leaders. It's your time and it's my time. And this is about our kids, and this is about the next generation of kids. And I want you to see this to start off with.
What do you like about this school?
I like that we learn a lot from all the teachers.
When I had problems, I would ask my teacher, and she would always help me, and now it's come along very well for me.
Every time you walk in this building, it makes you happy because people smile and say good morning or goodbye.
They have a very nice staff, and I make very good friends here. And I get to meet new people that have different qualities.
I like that everyone's nice to me and my friends, and everyone in the school is.
Like Haley over here, she's very funny. And then Katie, she's very smart.
The teachers. I think that they're really nice, they're willing to help you, and they're just really good at teaching.
I like the snow, I like to go sledding.
I love school.
But I want to come back to Horizon after it.
I like that everyone uses the 7 habits and they all work together to complete one big goal.
How the teachers are always nice to everyone.
The clubs teach us about different things like chess club. My sister's in it. She's learning more about chess and how to play, and she always beat me when we're playing.
We have so many different programs that allow us to explore whatever career field that we might desire to go into.
I am going to miss this school, but I am excited to go to Discovery because this is like a whole big family as Madison City.
because it provides classes that teach you skills and opportunities that are much more than textbook, things that are very hands-on, that teach you careers that you can maybe even go out of high school and get internships while you're in college and get like ahead of your game and other people in college.
I get to think and I get to use my imagination.
My favorite thing about Liberty is probably the relationships that I built with my teachers. They're all really sweet and have helped me out a lot.
Teachers that are willing to lend a hand and help you even though they're not obligated to. It's such a great quality to have here at Bob Jones that I think makes us really unique.
This is computer integrated manufacturing, and we get to use software on the computer to design parts that we then use this milling machine to cut out and then can use for stuff. The fact that we can do stuff like this and the clubs and stuff.
What is great about Columbia Elementary?
I like to read and make 100. Ice cream. Ice cream. Never bring a shark to the dentist. I like about pre-K. I like my teachers. I like the writing center. I like outside. And I like the swings. And I like the whole place at pre-K.
The staff and teachers here are very interactive. They don't just say, here's a textbook page and do it.
Even though I've only been here since 5th grade last year, I still love this school.
I love the teachers at James Clemens because they care about us and they care about the subjects they teach and they really want us to learn.
They are just the best.
I mean, like, I know that, like, oh, kids don't like school, but, like, when you go to summer, there's not really friends to hang around every day, and there's not really much stuff to do. That's why I really like school.
Teachers, they help you when you need help. Because the teachers never give up on me, even if I'm a bad student, which I am a good student.
I definitely would not be going anywhere without the opportunities that I get at Bob Jones.
Because this is my favorite school in my life.
I wish that, there's no way, but I wish I could take all the parents and walk around with me just one day, just go into schools and into classrooms, and I'm telling you, you'd see that I'm not just carrying on. We've got the best kids in America, we've got the best teachers in America, and they come from the best parents in America. And I wish you could just come with me, but you can see it right there, and we have a lot of fun in the schools. Now, I have I don't want to call it useless knowledge, but I've been here a long time. I think some of you know that. I will finish 30 years here in June or May, whatever. I've been here my whole adult life. I've been in Madison, Alabama. I came up here, I was a school teacher, and I've never been anywhere else. I mean, I'm not from Madison, from Birmingham, but I came up here as a school teacher. So I know a lot of where we've been, and I can tell you when I'm talking here, I'm going to tell you a lot of where we've been. So I hear people say, this is unprecedented growth. No, we've grown a lot from the beginning. It's not unprecedented. It's just continuing on. And the generation before us answered the call. And I'm so thankful because my children were successful and are successful as a result of the generation before us that answered the call that said, here's what's coming, here's what we want to do. Now, I'm going to tell you what's coming, and I'm going to show you our vision. But then ultimately, you've got to decide what we want to do. And we'll talk about that as we go. If you're not proud of what we do here, something's wrong. You ought to be. Because we do really good. And I say we, I'm talking about our kids. They do great. And I want to talk very briefly about some of the things they do. When you talk state of the school, next week I'm going to do a state of the schools, or 2 weeks, I'm going to do a state of the schools address in front of a group of business leaders. I'm going to brag from the second I start to the second I finish. Tonight I'm going to brag a little bit, but I'm going to talk about some things that we have going on. But I'm going to brag for just a second. I'm going to start with our National Merit Semifinalists. That's the top 1% of all kids in America. We have the most National Merit Semifinalists and have for the last 5 years at least, I don't even know going back past that, of any district in the state, no matter the size. We're number one. We have the most National Merit Semifinalists, and I'm very proud of that. our National Board Certified Teachers. Why do I put that on there? Because I want you to know that our teachers work hard. A National Board Certified Teacher, to be a National Board Certified Teacher, you have to go through a whole lot of stuff. But for our teachers, our data shows that National Board Certified Teachers are, if you have a National Board Certified Teacher as your teacher, there's nothing more, nothing greater than, there's no degree or anything else that a teacher can have than that will better prepare a child, that will help you prepare a child. And this year, we had the most National Board Certified, new National Certified teachers in the state. We don't have the most in the state, it's coming, but we had the most new ones. And so we want professional development with our teachers. We want our teachers to get better and better. Our test scores, 137 districts in the state of Alabama, we're number 3. Now, I want to be number 1, but we're number 3. And our demographic is much different than Mountain Brook and Vestavia. We're right behind Vestavia, but we're number 3. Of 137, we're number 3. It's not bad. We're number 3, and I'm very proud of our kids. In the arts, man, if you know anything about our arts, we were the only school, and I wish I had the, I'll stumble through this, but I'm going to tell you, I know this, our drama programs this year were the only 2 in the state, or the only 2 in North Alabama to represent Alabama in the state. And I can tell you that we've won SETC, which is the National Championship of Drama. We've won that, I think, 3 or 4 times in the last 15 to 20 years. Our visual arts programs, award-winning. We march on Friday nights between James Clemens and Bob Jones. We march over 500 kids every Friday night. I could go on and on and on. But our arts programs are something that, when our arts program started getting good, when we created an arts program in the city of Madison in the mid-90s, that's when Madison took another step. In the arts, listen, I did not participate in the arts when I was young. I'm not going to pretend like I did. I have not an artsy bone in my body. My wife does, but I don't. But I'm telling you what changed, and I'm going to use this word because I'm not going to talk about either school specifically, but there was no James Clemens in 1995. And James Clemens and Bob Jones are sister schools now. They're equal. But what changed Bob Jones and will change and made James Clemens one of America's best is when we pushed the arts. I'm not saying trust me. I'm just telling you I'm right. I was there. I saw it. I'm a football guy. I'm a baseball guy. But the arts changed it. The arts changed it. And I'll fight to the death to keep the arts strong because I saw it change the school. If I had time, one day, if you ever want to talk to me, we'll sit down and talk for hours. But I'm telling you, our arts people know that I'm not just saying that. You ask any of them. Robby Parker supports the arts, and so does this Board of Education. Athletics, well, y'all know, if you know me at all, you know I love athletics. I've played it my whole life. I played in college. I coached for 12 years. And so I'm an athletics guy. But I can tell you that whether you play at James Clemens or Bob Jones, whether you play football, baseball, basketball, you're a swimmer, it doesn't matter. You got a chance to be great because we give them all a chance to be great. We don't win a state championship and everything every year. We don't pretend to, we don't ask to. But every single team is competitive in every single thing they do every year. And we try to ensure that from the central office level. My assistant superintendent, Mr. Eric Terrell, is invaluable to the schools at all 4 schools. And so I think you all know that we're sort of serious. If we're going to keep score, we're going to try to win. I'm not going to apologize for that. If we keep score, we want to win. And that's where I stand on that. And our high schools, James Clemens and Bob Jones, every list that ever comes out, we're top 3, top 5, top 10. Today a list came out. The schools in the state of Alabama, there's 400 high schools in the state of Alabama, about 400. And it's the schools that best prepare students for college. Well, guess what? JC and BJ are both in the top 10. And I'm a little aggravated because I thought James Clemens was 8, and there's no doubt in my mind that they're top 3. But it's data from the first year, it's 2-year-old data because that's the way they get their data. And the data, Bob Jones was 3, James Clemens was 8, but I called baloney on that 8. I called James Clemens at 3 too. And maybe 2, maybe 4, but I'm saying they're right there. And Bob Jones and JC are equal. And the reason that they're down is because That data came from the first year that James Clemens had a full group of seniors. And so the data is not as accurate as we want it to be, but you just watch and see. Make a note. When it comes out next time and we have that full data, JC and BJ are both going to be in the top 3, top 4 at the worst, because they got a magnet school at 1, and that don't count. That don't. And so that makes me mad too. And so, but of schools that take everybody, JC and BJ. And so you're going to see JC and BJ on every list that there is. And I'm so proud of our kids. It makes my day. We got the best kids in America. All right, I'm going to talk to you about some things we're doing right now, and I'm going to talk to you about some things that we're going to keep doing. These are things that we've added in the last 11 months. Obviously, when I became the superintendent, we were already America's best school system. I came in, and we're not going to stay America's best if we don't keep growing. One thing that I see, whether it be a high school, whether it be a system, whatever it may be, if you don't grow, and I know that's a trite term, if you don't grow, you die, blah, blah, blah. But I'm telling you, if we're not changing and growing every day, if our curriculum is not growing daily and changing, we don't even know what jobs will be there in 5 years. We don't even know, 5 years, much less 10 years, and we better be looking to change our curriculum, especially in the high schools, every year. Dr. Heather Donaldson is our Chief Academic Officer, and I'm telling you, she is #1 in the state. Every year we change our curriculum for the high school kids, every year. And I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the things that we're looking at. Number one is I want to talk about pre-K. Before we go to the high schools, I want to talk about pre-K. Pre-K is for 4-year-olds. We started, that's right, you're there, that's right. We started what's called First Class Pre-K. It was a state grant. We wrote grants. And we started 4 years ago, 3 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, it doesn't matter, a couple years ago, and we're up to 9. We have written grants, and we've got as many classrooms as we could have every year. We're up to 9. We bought the pre-K center over by Rainbow. It is completely full. Data shows us that our kids that go through Madison First Class Pre-K at 4 years old far exceed what other children do when they get to kindergarten. Now, we want to grow that pre-K. We want that pre-K to be offered to every child in the city of Madison. And if we do that, let me tell you, right now, guys, it's a lottery. That's the only thing we can do. It's a straight lottery. It's a straight lottery. And most of your kids are probably not in pre-K anymore, but it makes a difference. And I'm going to talk to you for just a second about some of the difference. It makes a difference with every child, whether they're a child of poverty or whether they're not a child of poverty. But a child of poverty, I want you to hear me. Just for a second, I want you to hear this close. A child of poverty starts kindergarten, and they've heard as many as 10 million words less than a child of non-poverty. Data shows no matter how good what you do with the child, if they're that far behind, no matter what you do, they never catch up. And I'm not saying every child of poverty is in that boat, but I'm saying they never catch up. We can close that gap with pre-K, and it costs us no money. The state's paying for it. It does cost us space. And I'm going to talk to you about it. It costs us space. It don't cost us money, it costs us space. We're not paying for that. The state's paying for it. And every year we're writing more and more grants. But I believe we don't have to have a lottery for our kids in pre-K. I believe that we can offer it to every kid in the city of Madison, every child, that wants it. Some people won't want to do it, and that's fine. Nobody's forcing anybody to go. But we want to be able to offer it. And I'm going to talk to you more about that. I truly believe pre-K is a life changer and a changer for our system. These are the things that we've added this year. World language. Right now, we offer world language. It's one of my goals, and the board is supporting this goal, and obviously the whole system is. We want every child by the year 21, 22 to graduate from James Clemens or Bob Jones and be bilingual, 100%. That's a life changer. It's a game changer. If every child it can be bilingual. That's a life changer. Right now, we offer foreign language. We do some in the pre-K with you guys, don't we? A little bit, not a lot. But we offer it in K, we offer it in 1, we offer it in 2, we added it in 3 this year. Next year we're going to add it in 4. Obviously we offer it all the way through advanced placement, grades 9 through 12. In 7, 8, in 8 we offer it, but we're going to add it in 6 and 7 also, or we already offer it in 7, we're all offer it in 6. And so we're going to close it down to where we're going to offer it all the way from K to 12. Every child every year is going to have the option to take, they're going to take it all the way through the 6th grade. 7th grade, if they choose not to take it, then they don't have to. But most of our kids continue on and take it. And we want every child to be bilingual by the time that's a program that we can do, and that's a life changer. Imagine that if you may all be bilingual, I don't know, I'm not, I wish I was, but that's a life changer. That's a skill that they can have forever. New collar jobs. Let me explain to you what this is. We send 85 to 88% of our kids to college in Madison. That's been our number for a long while. That means 15% don't go. And let's just play with that number for just a minute. If we graduate 900 kids from James Clemens and Bob Jones this year, then and 85% go to college, 10% is 90, and another 5% is what, 45. So that's 145 or 135. That means 135 kids that graduate this year from James Clemens or Bob Jones. Here in May, just in a couple of months, 135 are not going to college. What are we doing for them? Well, there's a lot of kids that they choose not to go. And one of my goals is that we want to better prepare them. And we want to prepare them for the new collar jobs. It's not so much blue collar, because blue collar jobs are not what they used to be. More of new collar jobs where there's technology involved, and kids might just want to work with their hands. They don't want to go sit in a history class. That's fine. That's not just fine, it's great. We've got a Toyota plant coming online here, and there's going to be big money jobs sitting right out there at Toyota, and there's going to be engineers and people that are doing marketing and everything else there. But there's also going to be a whole lot more people working on those new collar jobs. We want to prepare our kids for that. We're preparing them for college, I'll assure you that, but we want to do a better job of preparing our kids for new collar jobs. And then finally, the advanced math for elementary kids. That's one thing I heard you yelling loud and clear, that the elementary kids are not being able to, we're not in a position to be able to offer advanced math to them. Let me tell you, one of the best things I ever did is when I left being a principal. I was in a school for 27 years. And when I left, I came in to be assistant superintendent. It's the most boring job ever. And it's not boring for Mr. Terrell, because I run him around like I ride him hard. Dr. Fowler didn't ride me as hard. Maybe it was because I'd been a principal of a big high school, so I was almost bored. But the best thing that had ever happened to me, I don't know if I'm a good superintendent, but I'm better because of being the assistant superintendent, because I got in every school, and I was in every school every day. And let me tell you what I saw, is I saw things that I didn't see at the high school. And there are huge gaps. In a high school, here's what you got. You've got kids that are, in math for instance, you got kids that are here. I mean, in an advanced placement class, there's kids that are the top and kids that are the bottom of that class. But the gap's only here. And then you got an honors class, you got the gaps here. And kids that may struggle in math, the gap is here. But in elementary school, you got a gap from here to here. And some kids are better in math, some kids are not as good in math. There's nothing wrong with that. But I said, all of our teachers are great, but elementary teachers are saints. How in the world are they? They're teaching to kids that are going to be national, that are going to be the top 1% of all kids in America, and they're teaching the kids that are struggling in math. And there's these huge gaps. And so I went to the board and we did some research. We traveled to Virginia. We've gone a lot of places to see what some of the highest performing schools are doing. And that's what we're doing now, is we're going to be able to offer to all the kids advanced math in the elementary schools. We're already offering it 7 to 12. We want to take it all the way down, we think, probably the 4th grade. We're working on that. But those are things that are game changers right there. Finally, moving 6th grade to middle school. Y'all know we're doing that right now. We did that because we think it's a good academic decision. It was a good operation decision too. Talk more about that later. It was a good academic decision too. Thank you so much for supporting us on the tax vote here a month or two ago. Thank you so much for that. And that's, you're supporting your kids. I mean, you're supporting your kids, guys. Lord willing, I will be the superintendent in 20 years. But I'll be 74 years old. Y'all may not want me then. I don't know. You may not want me next week, but you sure may not want me at 74. But it's taking care of our kids. I'm very proud to say, guys, we do a lot with a little here. I think you all know that. You can see that we're below the state average in per pupil spending. There's 137 districts, and we're number 61. We're right in the middle. We are not a rich school system. We are doing much better on class size ratio. When I took over as superintendent, we had the 5th worst class size. Now we're the 20th. The truth is I didn't do anything. I don't know how it changed, but I'm taking credit for it. And I shouldn't have told y'all that. I should have said when I took over it's 5th and now it's 20th. I asked Jana today, our CSFO, I said, how did it change? Which I knew it changed a little while ago. She said, I don't know. I said, I'm taking credit for it. I mean, I was superintendent, and we were 5 and now we're 20, so I'm just telling you, I'm taking credit for it. I really don't know how it changed, but still, we're not very good. Of 137 districts in the state, we're 117th on our class size. And so, why do we achieve with that? Because we got the best kids, we got the best teachers, we got the best moms and daddies. And there's other reasons too, but I'm just telling you, that's, we do not have... When we compare ourselves to a Mountain Brook, our class size over the district might be 1 to 19, 1 to 20. Theirs is 1 to 10 and a half. That makes a big difference. But we're right up there with them. So, I'm just telling you. You can look at our millage. I hope I hit the right button. You can look at our millage right there. Madison City, we have 27 mills of property tax for the school district. You can look at Mountain Brook's 52, Vestavia 52, Hoover 46. You can look at it. I'm not going to read them all to you. But you can see that we are not a rich school district. In 1993, I was a school teacher. In 1993, we were not a district yet. And we were going to school. We had 3 schools when I started here. Less than 1,000 kids in the entire city of Madison. I couldn't have rattled that off 30 years ago when I started here, but I look back at it, and of course I remember, and I look back to say, I wonder how many we had. And I knew about how many we had. We had less than 1,000 kids. I'm going to show you in a minute. We're going to top 11,000 right now in the city of Madison. When I started here, it was 1,000 kids. We had Bob Jones High School, which was in Discovery Middle School. And some of you might remember this, but it's been built on to about 4 times since then. It was what they call a Butler building. It was a yellow Butler building, and it was completely square. That was it. We had West Madison. It's where the little ones went, and it was K to maybe 4. And then Madison Elementary was called Madison Middle, and that's where 5, 6, 7, and 8 went. We had less than 1,000 kids in the entire district. In 1993, our citizens came together, and Madison was beginning to change, and they said, Bob Jones, the physical Bob Jones, the building, is not what we want. We want a nicer school. I mean, we can't compete in this little bitty school, of course, and we had 1,300 kids. We were busting at the seams, and we had trailers everywhere. And they said, we want a different school. And they went to the community, and our city passed an 11 mil property tax. And we were still Madison County, and that 11 mil property tax went to build the new Bob Jones High School. We moved into it in 1996. They started building it in 94. Moved into it in 1996. In 1998, the city of Madison said, we're going to break away, and we're going to be our system. And it was one of the, we had parties. I mean, I was a young guy. I was early 30s, and I was just getting into administration. We had, if any of y'all remember this, it was a great day. I mean, it was really, even when I was young, I didn't know the breadth of it, but it was a great day. We shot fireworks, and it's the best investment we've ever made. And let me show you what we've done in 20 years with that little 11 mil increase that we had in 1993. Let me show you what we built. Let's just look at it. We started as a district. We built heritage. This is in 20 years, guys. We built heritage. Or I say anything, I'm going to say it again. We have been good stewards of the money. And I say we, not me, Dee Fowler, Henry Clark, our boards of education. They've been good stewards with your money. We built heritage. We renovated West Madison. We renovated Madison Elementary. We renovated Bob Jones, built on an entire new wing called the B Wing in 2003. Built Columbia. Built the central office. Built the stadium. Built Mill Creek. Built the transportation. Built James Clemens. Bought the pre-K center. Renovated BJ again, 20 more million. Madison Elementary renovation, millions there. West Madison, renovated it again. We're building onto Rainbow and Columbia right now, or we built onto them this summer, renovated them for our developmentally delayed population so those children can go to school in their feeder patterns. And then finally, Liberty and Discovery is being renovated right now to the tune of about $13 million. We spent a lot, but we don't have any more, guys. We don't have any more. Hold that thought. We physically don't have any more. And I'm going to say this. I get in trouble for saying this, but I'm going to say it again. If not one more person moved to the city of Madison today, except for people coming in and out, I'd stand up here and brag for the next hour and we'd go home and watch This Is Us. That'd be it. But that's not going to happen. We got more coming, and I'm going to show you. We know what's coming, and we're not guessing. We know what's coming. We pay big money to demographers to come in here to look at live birth rates, to look at homes, to work with our city. We don't just guess numbers, and I'm going to show you the numbers here in just a second. We're still growing. Look at this. Now I'm going to show you. Here's where we're at right now. 10,543. That's minus pre-K. 10,543. I'm just going to jump to the end and show you that we're going to have 13,000 in 10 years. We don't have 3,000 seats for the kids to sit in, y'all. Let's just go to 5 years, 22, 23. We're going to have another 1,000 minimum, 1,300. That's without one pre-K child. We're going to have 1,300. We don't have 1,300 more seats to put them in. I just want you to hear me say that. It's physically impossible. There's nowhere else to put them. I'm going to show you a capacity analysis. I'm going to spend a lot of time on this. I'm going to post it so you can go back and digest it, because a lot of you will want to digest this. And I know it's hard to see. I went up in the rafters. I couldn't see. Might be because I'm 54 years old, but I could see from there, but I couldn't see from up there. So I'm going to post everything tomorrow. Well, I'm not. Somebody is. I don't want to tell that lie. I'm not going to do it. Bob Jones, this is a capacity analysis for 22-23. 5 years. You can look and see, and I'll just go to the end. We're going to be 97% full at the high schools, over 100% full at the middle schools. This is 5 years, guys. And 96% full there. That's with no rezone. I know that's the word y'all been waiting for me to hear say, hasn't it? I know everybody's worried about that one. I'm going to talk about that. Just hang on. But that's with no rezone. But I also want to show you this. Look how skewed that is. And we all know the West is growing more than these because there's no more homes in the West. But you can look and see that James Clemens will have they'll be well over capacity in 5 years. 5 years, they'll be well over capacity. BJ will still be a little under. But you can look and see. That right there scares me. 1,500 middle schoolers. Pack them into Liberty. That's not good. Even though we're building on, pack 1,500 in there. If you've ever been in a middle school, anybody middle school people here, I was principal of middle school. It takes a young person to be a principal of middle school. It's the most fun I've ever had in my life. And I think I'd like to do it again, but then I think, I don't know if I got patience at my age anymore. I was in my 30s when I did it. But I can tell you some stories. Middle school was a lot of fun. But that's a lot of middle schoolers to pack in there. And then you look at every elementary school and see that they are every single one of them with not any rezone in 5 years. Every single one of them with not one pre-K kid added in. I'm going to add them in a minute. Not one pre-K kid added in. And we're all 95 or 90 to 95% full. Now let me explain to you. You say, well, if you're 90% full, Robbie, you got 10 more percent to put there. It don't work that way, guys. That's what I used to say. Dennis James was our resident demographer prior to he just retired. And Dennis and I were taught together for many years. And I'd say, Dennis, we got 90%. Why are you can't, that's baloney. You can put 10 more percent in there. Well, at 90% you're okay. But you can't do that. Let me explain to you. Let's just say that you're 95% full at Heritage. We'll use Heritage for instance. Well, then that means 95% full means that you got three spots in third grade. You got 14 spots in fourth grade. You got 6 spots in fifth grade. You got 8 spots in first grade. You see what I'm saying? You just got spots like that. Well, what if you got 50 people coming and 40 of them are first grade? It just don't work. You can't. If we had a city where we could just say, okay, we got 8 spots at Heritage. We're going to go find 8 people. Now, one may live in the Rainbow Zone, and one may live here. Then we could fill them up to 100%. But I think you all understand what I'm saying. It just don't work. Once you get over 95%, it's full. It's full. And so this is in 5 years. I've just figured out I don't have to walk over here and do this every time, do I? I can do it from here. I guess I don't know. I'll just do it. I just sort of OCD about things like that. I don't know. 2028, in 10 years. And I don't even want to talk about 10 years, but I want you to see in 10 years where we're going to be. 109% full, 111% full, 102% full. And that's with not one pre-K kid. I'm going to show you those slides at the end just to scare you a little more. But that's not with one pre-K kid. That's not growing it at all. And that's how full we're going to be, guys. We're going to be at James Clemens. They're going to have 2,700 kids at JC. Anybody from JC here? Y'all okay? Y'all okay? Nobody. I don't want you to pass out. I've got a plan. You can look and see where we're going to be. I mean, you get my point. All right. So, what's our vision? What's our plan? What's the Board of Education and my plan that I'm presenting to you? Let me tell you as I present this thing, I think it's a pretty good plan. I'm excited about it. I'm fired up about it. I think this will take us physically through the next 10 years. I can't tell you what's going to happen after 10 years. I don't know. But I can tell you that our demographers can tell us. Now, Toyota is a wild card. How is Toyota going to affect us? The answer is I don't know. But just because the Toyota plant is there doesn't mean that it don't necessarily affect us direct. Well, it does. I don't want to mislead you. What I'm saying is, it can make homes be built quicker. But our city council has adopted a Westside master plan. And the Westside master plan is the demographics that is the plat that our demographer used. Now, if the city council does not change from the Westside master plan, these numbers are going to be right on. It don't matter if you build 10 plants out there, because the plan is the plan. Does that make sense? Now, and people can move, it can be on waiting list to get in homes, but the plan's the plan. Now, it might make it go faster. It may do that. And the Westside master plan, I can't speak for the city council, but I know they've adopted that Westside master plan. And that Westside master plan says that this is what we're going to look like. So, what's our vision? What we're doing right now is we're adding on to liberty and discovery. We're doing that right now. And I put that in there as this first slide because we're already doing it. But what do we need to do on top of that? And this is what we want to, if we want to continue leading the state, these are the things we're going to have to do. All right. I've talked to the West Madison folks. This isn't a shock to them. I've talked to the people at West Madison. I went and met with them. I've talked to them, so I know everybody's sitting around right now thinking, oh, I wonder what they're going to say at West Madison. I've talked to them. And here's what I believe. I believe ultimately West Madison should be our pre-K center. Now, why? Because a pre-K center. West Madison has about 28 classrooms. The classrooms are small. They've got bathrooms within them. It's a perfect pre-K center. Now, will we fill it up? Within 5 years, we think we can fill it up. Absolutely. We're going to need a new elementary school. There's no doubt about it. I know the question may be right here, then what? Well, if you're taking West Madison away, you're going to need 2 elementary schools. In 10 years, we may need 2. But whether we have the pre-K spread out all over the district, 1 here, 2 here, 3 here, 4 here, 2 classes at West Madison, 1 at Columbia, wherever we can find them, whatever we do, room is room. And if we put them all together, it's the best decision for kids. So the first thing is I believe we should have 2 pre-K centers. 1 at Rainbow, and then fill up West Madison, because our town's only growing. To do that, we're going to have to build a new elementary school for 900 kids. Now, let me say this. There's always sticker shock. Y'all are looking up there right now and you're thinking, man, it's going to cost $34 million. Listen to me. Whether you build it in 3 years or whether you build it in 5 years. If you're going to build it, we're going to build it. In 5 years, we're maxed out. So we're going to build it in 3 years, we're going to build it in 5 years. But if we build it here, it's better for our community, it's better for our kids, and we can be a state leader and a national leader like we are now. That's number one. What else do we need to do? We're going to have to build a new middle school. By 2023, I showed you the numbers. By 2023, we're going to be grossly overcrowded at both Liberty and Discovery. That's with a perfect rezone. That's with a perfect rezone. We're going to be grossly overcrowded. In 2023, we're going to have to move into a new middle school. I can't tell you where it's going to be built. I know you want specifics, and the answer is, I don't know. And I'm not being coy. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Have I thought about it? Have I spoke with the board about it? Of course we have. We've talked about, I mean, do you build it on this side, you build on this side, you build it here. But all we're doing is talking. I mean, we don't know. But what we do believe is this. I sent out surveys to you, and I've heard you loud and clear. And here's what you're asking for in middle school. You're asking for performing arts space. And I believe that if we can build a small auditorium onto a third middle school, and it be, and I don't want to use the wrong word because in my mind I know exactly what I'm talking about. But let me tell you, I could see something like this. It's not going to be a magnet, but I could see something like this. I could see kids that were really, because the only thing we don't offer right now is a true performing arts class at the middle school. We don't offer that. Not really. Not really. Not like we do at the high schools, we don't. But we have a lot of kids. If you've ever been to the Columbia play, oh my gosh, we could do that with every elementary school. We could do it with both middle schools. But we don't have any performing arts space. And if we built a performing arts center onto approximately 350 seats onto a middle school, it would be used by every elementary school. It would not be the property of Middle School C. It would be used by every elementary student. And I could see in the afternoon, 4th block, or whatever, at 1:30 or 2 o'clock, no different than we do at the high schools. If somebody is really interested in the performing arts, I could see a bus from Liberty and a bus from Discovery, and all going and having a strong performing arts program there, or an orchestra program there. And whereas we really can't build 3 performing arts centers at every school, we can build 1. What's the difference in building 1 and not? Because right now I know maybe some of you are thinking, man, if you build a middle school and you take the performing arts center off, it'll be reasonable. It'll be about $5 million. So still talking about $55 million. So it's not the difference in 20 million or 60 million. So, but I believe it's what you've asked for in your surveys. If we want to be a state and national leader, this is what we got to do. Finally, there's a big one right here. We've got 2 options. 25, 26, we're going to be outgrowing James Clemens and Bob Jones. We've got 2 options. You either build on or you build a new one. It's one of the two. And we say, you think, man, that's 8 years down the road. Some of your children will be impacted by that. I can assure you that you'll all be impacted by it if you live in the city of Madison, whether your children go here or not. And let me tell you, if the board runs me off tomorrow, I'm staying. My wife and I are here, so it will impact me. I'm not going anywhere. My whole adult life has been up here. My wife and I are retiring here. I mean, this is it. We're not going anywhere, so it will impact me personally too. But you got two options. We have done more research, and of course I know a little bit about high schools. I was at the biggest one in the state for many years, and so I know a lot about high schools. And let me just say this right here. I know after this somebody's going to say, he said Bob Jones a couple of times. He pulls for Bob Jones. Let me tell you this, guys. I do pull for Bob Jones because I was there 27 years. But then somebody said, well, you don't pull for James Clemens. I said, wait a minute. My son's a teacher at James Clemens. If the Lord blesses me with grandchildren, they're going to James Clemens because they live in the James Clemens zone. I said, do you pull against your children? Well, no. Well, I don't pull against mine either. So I love Bob Jones and James Clemens both. I can assure you, as a superintendent, I love them both. And I can tell you that at James Clemens and Bob Jones, we've got two options. We can either build on to them or we can build a new one. I've given a lot of data to the Growth Committee. The Growth Committee's asked a lot of things. And I can tell you this, and we don't know what the answer is because we're going to come to you next week, and or in the next month, I should say. In the next month, we're going to come to you. And we're going to ask you what you think. But I'm going to give you the data on how much they cost right here. It's going to cost about $18 million to build on to the schools and make them have a capacity of about 2,700 each. We can build a new one for $2,000. It's going to cost us $120 million to build it. So that's just something that our community's got to decide. I'm not saying I'm for either one of them. I'm just saying something the community's got to decide. There's a lot of data out there. We know that with 3 high schools, data has shown us it'll be a challenge to continue to be as good as we are. But we may be the first ones to break the code. The top 20 performing school districts in the state, 18 of them have 1 high school, 2 of them have 2. None of them have 3 or more. We're number 3, and we've got 2 high schools. So we broke the code on that. We may be the one to break the code on 3 or more high schools in the state of Alabama. But it's something that they don't want you to have. So we've got 2 options. We either build on to Bob Jones and James Clemens, make them hold 500 more kids, or we'll build a high school which will be approximately 2,000 and will cost about $120 million. Something we got to decide. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you these slides right here. By adding pre-K in, and let me back up. The reason I asked Janet to put these on here is to say this: what if we do nothing? What if we do nothing? I don't want to scare you. I'm not standing. I'm a Barnabas. If that makes sense to you. I'm an encourager. I'm the one that says, "You can. Hey, we'll do it." I get in a lot of trouble from the board. They say, "Don't say." They say, "No, we can't do it. You can't say that." We can't do it. I mean, we're not going to shut the doors if we do nothing. But here's what we're going to have. And we're not going to be Madison. Here's what we're going to have, guys. We're going to have grossly overcrowded schools in 5 years. We're going to have with pre-K, we're going to be at 99% full in the elementary in 5 years. We're going to be over 100% full in 5 years in the middle school, and we're going to be 97% full in the high schools, which we can survive a little longer in the high schools. And Lord, help us in 10 years. Here's what we're going to be. We're going to be 109% full. We're going to have 500 kids without a seat. Where are we going to put them? I can't answer that in elementary school. We might can float teachers and have split sessions at James Clemens and Bob Jones, and somebody come in the morning, somebody come in the afternoon. I mean, we've talked about that before. We might could do that. We could go year-round school. Same thing in the middle schools. I don't know in the elementary schools. I don't have a plan for that yet if we don't do anything. But that's where we're going to be. And so, guys, I just want you to know that's what we've got to do. That's what you're going to have. So what's next? We're coming to you. In February, I ask you to come out again and talk to us. The board and I will be having open sessions. Now tonight, y'all can talk to me afterwards if you want to, but there's going to be open mics, and we're going to talk to you. And we're going to talk to you about a lot of things, about anything you want to talk about. But I know rezoning will be discussed. I know that you're going to ask, how are you going to pay for these things? All these things, the proper time to talk about them is in an open forum. And tonight, I mean, we can't have an open forum with an auditorium full of people. But we're going to open it up right here, and we're going to send all this out to you. I'll send it out. I'll make sure it comes out to you tomorrow on Messenger. But please put one of them on your calendar and come to one of them, because I want to sum up by saying this again. We need a new elementary school, and we need to move into it in 21. We need a new middle school. We need to move into it in 22. And we've got to either build on or build a new high school by 26. We got to do those things. And we got to come up with a plan as to how we're going to do it. So, thank you so much for being here. I do want to finish. Well, no, I'm not even going to show you that. Never mind. I'll show it to you. I got something I want to show you. And I want to finish. I want to plant this seed. I know that in talking about rezoning, I showed you up there how there was a lot of skewed numbers, maybe to the west side, because this is where more homes are being built. But I want everybody to understand that rezoning is necessary. And I'm going to show it to you. I was afraid to show it to you because I was afraid I'd mess up my PowerPoint, but now I'm at the end, so if I mess it up, it's okay. But I want to show you what it'll look like why do we rezone? I'm going to tell you there's two reasons. One is to physically make schools physically equal. In other words, you can't have 400 empty seats here and 400 too many people here. And the second is for demographics. Every school in the city of Madison is the same. Now, I know they're not the same because you like your school. I understand that. But every school in the city of Madison is the same academically and demographically. And when we get our, everybody's hearing about the report cards next week. You know what I'm talking about, the state report cards coming out. We're going to get them on February 1st. We're going to show them to you. I'm confident they're going to be pretty good. But I'm going to tell you why they're going to be good and why. If we do well in the city of Madison versus other cities, I'm going to tell you one reason is because demographically our schools are the same. They're the same. And we have to rezone. And we have to have schools that are where we don't have a rich school and a poor school. And I know you might say, I moved here. Right. Thank you. And people might say, well, I moved here to go to this school. Well, I understand. But I'm telling you, when you move into Madison, you be prepared because we're going to rezone. And I know it's hard on me. It's hard on children. I understand that. But it's the best thing for children. And it allows them to go to an A school versus a B school. I'm not going to call any names. But next week when these come out, I'm not going to have you here where I can talk to you. But look at Madison. And let's see that all of our schools do well. And then look next door. And then look next door. And all of theirs don't do good because they don't zone them. One reason is because they can't, because of many reasons. But we can. And I want you to look, if every child in elementary school, we just did this analysis, if every child in elementary school went to the school closest to them, if every school in elementary school went to the school, if every child went to school closest to them, I'm going to read them all for you. Start with Columbia. We'd have 245 seats where nobody was sitting. You say, that's great, I'd go to Columbia, we got room. Well, just wait. Poverty would be 12%. The system average of poverty is 20%. That makes it, I know it don't mean but I'm telling you, that's the cornerstone. That's why we're so good, because the people before us have had the courage to do it. Heritage would be about full, and it'd be 7% poverty. But the district is 21% poverty. You say, I go to Heritage, that's cool with me. But I promise you, if there's a have and a have-nots, the haves cannot succeed. They can't do it, nor can the have-nots. Horizon would be overcrowded. It'd be 41% poverty. Madison Elementary would have almost 400 too many kids. Let me step over here real quick and say, but everybody says, why don't you just send people to the school closest to them? Except for that person. You can send them somewhere else. As a joke. I'd say the same thing. 382 people too many at Madison Elementary, and the poverty level would be 37%. There'd be 372 open seats at Mill Creek. Poverty would be 9%. almost 400 empty seats. The whole school only holds, 800 people. It'd be half empty. It'd be half empty. Boy, would their poverty be good? There'd be no poverty there. If I'd have gave you that choice, say which school would have the least poverty, you wouldn't pick Rainbow, would you? Because there's no poverty around it. But they would be fine. There'd be 400 too few students there, and there wouldn't be a bit of poverty. We love it. But that's not what we love. That does not make a good school. That does not help our children. If schools aren't diverse, I'm telling you, our kids suffer for it. I'm telling you. Then at West Madison, we'd be too full and be 42% poverty. Remember, 21% is the system average. That's why we rezone. That's why every school has the ability to make an A. I don't know what the scores are going to be, but that's why every school can be an A school. I'm telling you, there aren't many places where every school can be equal. Some schools can be good, but others cannot be. But the reason we can be, as a system, ranked third in the state when we've got 11,000 children, when everybody else that's doing really well has these little bitty school systems, we've got 11,000 kids, and we're still one of America's best. And that's because of the courage of this Board of Education and the superintendents before me to rezone. So as we talk about rezoning, last year we were very strategic. One thing, and we'll be strategic again, but I just want you to know that's why we do it. The schools have to be, we have to sit people behinds in seats, and we want to be there. I'm going to finish with that right there. Thank you so much for being here. If anybody wants to talk to me, I'll walk out and talk to you. I'm going to send this out tomorrow. And the breakout sessions, please come to it. If you want to send an email, in fact, I thought about it. We're going to, Mr. Witt, where you at? Are you here? I don't know how we do this, but I want you to send me emails, but and everybody in the system has my number. I mean, most of y'all probably have my cell number. I've only got one. But I don't know that I can answer, and I'm being serious. I'm not being sarcastic. I don't know that I can physically answer, because I probably had about 120 last night. I tried to answer most of them. I said, I can't answer them all. I just can't do it. So I don't know I can answer every question, but we need to set up some type of hotline, I guess, where we can say, where you at, Daniel? I can't say. And we're going to figure, I'll send you something on Messenger tomorrow. So if you got questions, you can maybe send them to us, and I can try to answer them a little at a time without sending it directly to me or something other. Because I know you got questions, and I want you to come to that. Thank you for coming tonight, guys. And if you need anything, send me an email, call me, whatever. Thank you.